everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here to do the extended monthly forecast. This is for Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Rising signs. And this is for the month of June 2018. I hope that you enjoyed your May 2018 general forecast and that it was useful to you. This is a general reading, so whatever is most prominent and pressing in your life this month, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to. And as always, I hope that you find them helpful and healing. I'm going to keep stretching my divination abilities here, and of course we'll be doing a new spread this month. It's 8 cards in total. The first row is what's on the surface. The bottom 4 cards are what's underneath, and the theme of the reading is secrets revealed. So we're going to be looking at revealing some secrets about things that need to be changed if you want your dreams and goals to come true. So secrets revealed. What does Cancer, Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising need to know for the month of June 2018? Messages for Cancer, June 2018. Messages for Cancerians, June 2018. My arms are absolutely right to the shoulder blade, so I'm going to get these cards out. That's always my sign to start laying the cards down at the bottom of the deck. So I'm not going to be paying too much attention to this for the purpose of this reading. Hold on one second. I'm going to move the camera. Hope that helped. We have the Emperor. So this follows the Empress. As you know, the Emperor is really divine type of energy. We have stability energy here, foundational energy with the 4. It is a major arcana. The Emperor is really looking at, divine intervention. It's divine energy. It's the essence of kings, right? It's king/queen energy. It's the person who makes the rules. It's also the person who can abide by rules. It's a rule and environment. So you can do very, very well in this environment this month. Let's get out your cards for you, Cancer. So it looks like you have a fair amount of worry or concern under the surface if you're doing the right thing, taking the right path, etc. But it's suggesting right off the outset that you can proceed confidently if you're led by the heart. If you just let go and lead with the heart, stop overthinking, stop maybe even overdoing, you'll definitely win here. So it's a great opportunity for you to come out on top. Let's look at the on the surface row of cards here for you. So we have the 6 of Cups. Gemini, I believe, just had this. This is really about nostalgia. This is reading into something that may or may not even belong to you in terms of a fantasy world. It's almost like there's a clinging here. I do think the point of this type of emotional clinging is to feel stable, to convince ourselves that we're stable and things are fine just the way they are, even though we're busy pining for something else, but we may not have identified it, or we may not even know exactly what it looks like or feels like. It may not even be our fairy tale or dream or goal. But there is being emotionally stuck here. And, the operative word being stuck. Like, it might even seem sweet when you're there and you're fantasizing or you're contemplating. But There's something that needs to be let go of here in order for you to move on. Now, we do have following it, the Ten of Water, so I do see you, now that you're aware of this, you know, identifying it, giving it a name, finding out how to overcome it, and then like following through with that and being okay with that. So it's really important for you to decide what it is here that you're nostalgic about, particularly on the emotional front, for you to, you know, lovingly put on a shelf. Like, you don't have to be mad at yourself or the feeling or the fantasy or anything that has nothing to do with it. In fact, what's hidden or underneath here is saying that it could keep growing. You know, you could grow this, but to what end? Like, it's just going to be disturbing. I think that just because it won't actualize in the real world, what you want actualized in the real world, like the Pentacles here, is the Ten of Water. You want this to flow down here. You don't want this to be this, what do I do next emotionally thing. So I think it's really important for you to get rid of this weight, this emotional weight here. Come to terms with it. Come out on top of it for yourself, you know, even if this has nothing to do with a committed relationship of any kind, really. This is about developing your higher self and your highest emotional self. Here with the King of Fire. So this is someone who is, you know, spiritually advanced, someone who has a lot of spiritual gifts to offer, someone who has the heart of the lion, a heart of gold, might be another way to frame this as well. So I think you might be undermining yourself here. And this is what I'm seeing with both of these cards together. This could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries in your environment as well. It could be a woman with very masculine energy. It could be you. This could be your energy if you are a Cancer with a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius rising or moon sign. This could very well be your energy. And this is almost like you're looking at this going like, yeah, duh. I just don't know. I know about this. I didn't know it was holding me back as much as it is. And if that's the case, I mean, it's almost just like, okay, well, this is a good sign for you to say you'll be better off without this type of nostalgia. And let's go back for a second. Even if it is something that you're nostalgic for because it did happen, even if it hurt you, Cancer, even if you're not nostalgic for it to keep happening or keep appearing, or that you don't want it to keep cropping up, it could just be something like that's like haunting you. Like there's a ghost quality to this. You can kind of tell because of her reflection in the water. Like it's almost like, is it a dream? Is it real? Even if it is a dream, do I want to bring it to fruition? If it's real, do I want to keep living this? So the Six of Cups to me really, there's an opportunity here to switch things up, but I think you need to be enlightened about it in the first place. And ultimately, like with anything else that we want to overcome, like we need to name it. We need to come to terms with it. And I think this is what this is saying right next to it. I really feel confident, Cancer, that you know exactly what it is. And that you might even know how to get past it, right? So we have like a great deal of passionate, maybe even sexual energy here. The heart of a lion, you know, spiritual advancement here. So if this isn't you, it's energy or an individual, energy available to you or an individual who has this information for you, or you can find out how to help yourself out of this through that energy, person, or environment. And I'm going to suggest, you know, really cutting something off here. So following the King of Fire, we have the Messenger or the Knight. So our second court card here of air. So we have a lot of air. You have just as much air as you do cups. So there's almost the heart and the mind, I'm going to suggest, are at odds, not necessarily at war. But there is a little bit of like the heart and the mind, okay? This month. On the plus side, there is more decisiveness decisive energy. Here we have with the King, the 10, the Knight. This is decisive energy. This is very mature energy. So you can really lift yourself out of this quite easily here. And as I was saying, the Knight of Air is really just saying, there's a message that's going to cut through the garbage here. This could be an individual, however, it could be a youthful energy, male or female, but it's youthful energy. And again, it could belong to you. You could have air in your moon or rising sign Cancer, and if that's the case, this is really just spelling out who you are this month. But if not, this is someone in your environment, or it's energy in your environment. And the Page of Air is really cutting through the garbage. It's also, it's not going to take no for an answer. It's pretty abrupt. It could even be considered to be like blunt and like rude, question mark. But on the plus side, it's not wrong, okay? And this is, it's almost like maybe you need to be blunt about something here, with yourself or with someone else, or someone who's coming in with this energy is blunt with you. And you're like, oh, like, I don't even think you're going to take it wrong or bad or be upset by it or anything. We do have the 7 underneath it here, so you could there could be like an internal struggle with it, but it's not long-lived, and it'll just be like, it's a fruitless struggle. Don't struggle against the truth here. Don't make things even internally or under the surface or mentally harder for yourself than it needs to be. I think there's just like a level of acceptance, like this is available to you, or this is energy that surrounds you, or this is what you are exhibiting into the world, which is, I come bearing the truth. Even if you don't like it, well, that doesn't change the fact that it's the truth. And the beautiful thing about that is that I do think you are going to be emotionally developed because of it, or following it, or it's remarkable when you look at it, right? Like, we have this really mature energy, this passion, this intellectual superiority here, I would say, but ultimately like truth-telling and cutting through nonsense, cutting through the fantasy, for example, and getting to the root of the matter, which is, how beautiful is this? Look at this really chubby Buddha, this gorgeous 10 of Cups. This is really wish fulfillment. This is emotional wellness. So rich, so wealthy, so fulfilled that you can share it with everyone around you. And everyone around you benefits because of this energy. So I think once you get rid of what isn't working for you, this, what you even something you were used to, or something you were emotionally or sentimentally counting on, for example, or attached to, God forbid. It's almost like once you named it, shamed it, shelved it with love, as always, now you can enjoy this emotional wellness. If this has to do with the way that you see yourself, another, relationships in general, a work project, emotions in general, spirituality, intellectualism. I'm going to even suggest here with our 1 Pentacle card here, with money and assets, that you can come out on top. You can develop a new attitude, an emotional attitude around this, and you can really benefit not only yourself but others. Because remember, you can come out on top here. Like, you have a lot of mature energy here, especially with the Emperor at the bottom of the deck there. The institutional sort of authority, banks and financial institutions and stuff. So, depending on the institution, it could be school. It could be that you're finishing school, or you've passed a study period here, personal or political or anything in between here. It's almost like, now there's an element of authority that you can share with others, and could very well have to do with your finances. Doesn't have to be, but it also could be impacting the way that you were fantasizing, the way you felt about yourself, your own spiritual gifts and wellness. the way that you talk to yourself, your own internal dialogue, if that's the case here, and the way that you felt about happiness and emotional fulfillment here. And maybe you're just like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to put what isn't working for me behind me, and I'm ready to move into wealth mentality, health mentality, something that belongs in the physical world, something I can touch and taste and feel and enjoy. And again, that you can share, right? You can share your emotional wealth here, but this is really committed work, Cancer. And of course, we're on our second row. This is what's underneath. So what's underneath all of this advancement is really committed physical work here. You're really getting somewhere. Like, don't give up now. If you're feeling it all, like, don't give up now. Because this falls under the Six of Water, I'm going to suggest, like, figure out what that ghost is, what that outdated energy is, what basically isn't working for you, what's sort of sucking up space, emotional space, even spiritual space, okay? What could be sucking up some of your, the way that you're thinking here. You know, let it go. This is really strong foundational energy here. So remember how much you've put into this and keep going in that direction. You know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater right now would be another way I can frame that as well. Just get rid of what isn't working for you and, you know, keep the rest. Keep continuing forward with the rest here. And don't allow others to treat you less than your worth. I think a nice, maybe this is part of it, like you undervalued yourself and then you just got used to it, or you thought, you know, it's gonna upset other people somehow. And we all do this to some extent. Like, we don't want to be difficult, we don't want to take more than our share and all the rest of it, but, you know, this is double foundation energy. It's also, anytime we're looking at eights, we're looking at, you know, infinity energy, which is, in my view, where you're supposed to be right now. So keep going in the direction of your dreams. Just get rid of what isn't working for you, okay? Keep going in the direction of, you know, these fantasies that you have put into practice here. Another card here in the underneath or hidden realm or mystery is the Two of Air. The simplest way to read this is to say that you don't want to make a decision. Like, you don't want to have to make a decision here. You're kind of like purposefully blindfolded. But I hope you can see both birds have little crowns on their heads, which means that it's, in my view right now, especially because you have a heart of gold, it kind of doesn't matter which direction you turn, okay? There's only one or two of two choices right now. I wouldn't keep yourself up at night over which way to turn. Just pick one. Go in one direction, because the best thing that can happen is that it works out, and then you get to the Nine of Pentacles, and then you get to the Ten of Pentacles, right? The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work out, and then you take another path. So it's not the end of the world. Like, nothing grotesque is going to occur because of this, but I think this is something that's keeping you up at night. You could be even a little bit nervous about. But again, it's almost like making a decision here. And it could even just be about like revealing who you are. Like, when you take that blindfold off and you're presenting one sword, like your sword of ideas or your sword of truth. And this falls under, you know, this concept. Let's say you were to choose one and hold your sword. It falls under the King of Fire, right? So you're already well developed here. It's almost like you almost don't believe who you are, or you can't accept it, or there's an intellectual fear. I don't mean to say fear, trepidation. It's almost like you're creating concerns around it. Just don't. It's just sucking up mental energy. You're already underway. You know who you are. So and you have a lot to offer. So maybe don't read into that. Don't read into the worry aspect of things right now, because it's doubling up on itself, right? We have the 7 of air following the 2. And this is just really, you know, feeling a little bit tricky. As I mentioned, there's a little bit of a tricky aspect to this, trying to get away with something here. But honestly, I don't see you upsetting anyone but yourself. Like, right? It's underneath the messenger of air. I would really, if you feel like something has to be done right now, and if you did it right now, it wouldn't be your best, but you're going to do it anyway, stop. Okay? If that's what the decision is about, wait until you're absolutely certain. Wait until, or, you know, focus on that single sword of truth, or focus on the fact that you do have the answers and you don't need to feel like you're tricking anybody, or you're going to trick somebody, or you're going to upset somebody, you know, intellectually here, or their thought process, or ideas and beliefs and so forth. It's like, if this is going on internally and you're sort of maybe even scared of who you are, scared of what you have to offer, uptight about it, feeling like there's information maybe that you're not aware of, or that you don't have, and you know you can't move forward with it, I'm going to suggest follow your heart. Like, if you get into over-intellectualizing what's really going on behind the scenes here, I think it's going to stump you. I really do. I think you're going to talk yourself out of something here. You're going to look for problems. You'll find them, you know. And you're ultimately holding up a decision, which is already underway. Like, you've already begun it. So, like, just go with the flow. Go with it. And stop making excuses. Get rid of the ghost, because you're being offered pure love here. Like, an overflowing cup of emotional purity is being offered to you. And this is, in my view, a highly spiritual card. The Ace of Cups is really source energy. It's limitless emotional wellness and growth and prosperity and connection. It also falls under the 10 of Cups, I just realized, which is the pinnacle of emotional wellness. So I mean, like, come on, right? You know you have it in you. Maybe just accept who you really are. Accept the gifts that you really have to offer here, that you really can teach other people. Just go slow. You know, you don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to convince anybody. You can just be yourself. You follow your heart. You do it in the highest mind, right? Truth. You do it with a heart of gold. Follow through with what you've already begun. Give up the ghost. Stop worrying about which way to move. Just make a move. And stop stressing about this tricky stuff in your head. And it could just be, I'm throwing this out there right now because it just occurred to me. Stressing about something here with the 7 of air, this is the mind. Stressing about not knowing enough, not having enough. You know, another theme around like the 7 of air being the, tricky energy, getting away with something, is because you don't trust, right? Because you're not trusting something. And this is at the Ace of Water after this is saying, guys, girls, people, folks, human beings, and everyone in between, like, have some faith in yourself. Have some faith in yourself. It's literally being provided to you. Make an opening for it. Get rid of the ghost, get rid of what isn't working, the garbage, the nonsense, the fantasy world that's old or outdated, etc. And make room for the brilliance, for the emotional brilliance and wellness and divinity that belongs to you now. and open your arms to that, okay? And walk away from that worry and walk away from that concern. I really do truly believe you know where it's at, Cancer. I really do. Why not? They came out together. That's actually ridiculous. I'm going to take them both, but these are funny together. All right, let's look at these. So we have your oracle cards to polish off your reading today. I'm actually really excited for you. This is a really, you can really step out of a dark phase for yourself this month, Cancer. So body care. I don't see this for you often. In fact, I see body care for Aquarius regularly. So you could have an Aquarius moon or rising right now. If that's the case, really heed your physical self. Don't stop something you've already started here, especially if this has to do with finances, but ultimately your own physical care, body care. Get back into shape, get out into nature, take care of yourself. You have been living in the mental and emotional world here. You want to come back to the pentacles, come back to earth here. Maybe get your hands a little dirty with something this month. Try something new that's new to you, okay? And really expand your abilities here and have fun with it. This could be about sensuality and the physical pleasures as well. But I'm going to suggest that it just has to do with taking care of yourself, your body. Here with the butterflies, transformation, no kidding. A huge transformation is occurring for you. Just last month, we had the death card for you, if I recall correctly. So, a new phase really is available for you here. And it may seem like this is incongruent to Cancer, like why would a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy be here? It's because you do have a heart of gold. And you can be any sign and have that and be a spiritual leader here. So it's time to walk away from what isn't working for you, what isn't serving you anymore, and trust that the future has something better in store for you, because you're going to take it by the horns this month, Cancer. You're just going to go for it. Take it by the horns. You have a lot of support here. You're kind of irritating your own self internally here. So you know what? Surround yourself with people who are on your side and who are cheerleading you right now. And this chrysalis stage is almost over for you. You're ready to come out the other side of something that was irritating you or troubling you. And look at this, between two worlds. Look, you're really on the precipice of enormous change. You can really walk into the light here. A celebration exists for you here. You just need to identify what needs to be shelved, okay? And then do it permanently. Let it go. Do it with love. Even if when you do put it on a shelf, you plan to come back to it. You don't have to be mad at yourself. You don't have to be mad at someone else. You don't have to be mad at a circumstance. You can do all this with love. And you can say, I'm not done with this, but I'm willing to put this on a shelf for a little while because I want to move forward right now in another area, but I'll come back to you because I'm not mad at you. So you can try that, but remember, a different world awaits. Something beautiful and new awaits you on the other side of your fear, Cancer, okay? And here these two jumped out. Retreat was the first to jump out. This came out on top of it. I decided to take it. It sounds like two different worlds. It's just funny. Retreat and honeymoon came out together. Retreat. No, she's not walking away with her husband. This is actually her dad. This is what I've decided about this card. It's time to disconnect from the world. And I'm going to suggest your thoughts, okay? It's time to join up with some mature energy, right? Mature. Be your highest self. Don't succumb to the worry and concern here. Take some time, right? Like I said, take a little bit of a break here. Do what you need to do to make that decision here. But don't take a minute longer than you have to, because you want to just start. You want to start the next phase of what you've already built here. Because the following card is enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. If this is about you and a project, which is often how I read these cards, they could, in a creative sense, really just let yourself go with it. Let yourself have fun with it. Let this be a project that you take a lot of pride that you can be intellectually honest about, and perhaps even a spiritual leader within, but also that you can be your fullest self, that you can possess and then provide emotional wellness. So enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. You can really help someone else out of a horrible situation right here just by being yourself. And of course, a honeymoon is always pleasurable, or at least it's designed to be pleasurable. And you can really provide this for yourself right now. If this is about a relationship, you know, find out what it is you really want, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to provide, and then express that. And I think that that'll be readily accepted for you this month. So Cancer, that is your reading for June 2018. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really loved reading this style of spread for you. I hope it was helpful in healing. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, bye for now.